Hi, I'm Spiro, one of three co-founders of Slip. Our background is from financial services. Paul and I ran the commercial and technical teams in PayPal Australia, and Mike was Group Data Officer of ANZ Bank. So as consumers, and we all are here, I'm sure we can all relate to the problem that is paper receipts. Whilst the majority of payments these days are digital in some form factor, whether it's a card or a phone or a watch, still at the end of that transaction, you're still given a piece of paper as a receipt. The majority of the time that ends up in a bin, in the bottom of a shoebox, or a drawer where invariably when you actually need it the most for a warranty or a return or even tax purposes, you end up losing it. So I think we can all agree, and it's not rocket science, that receipts are a pain in the butt. They're painful, they're static, they don't change over time, and they're costly, both from the perspective of printing costs and the equipment that's required to print them, and from an environmental impact as well. So not many people realise that millions of trees are cut down every year to print the paper the receipts are printed on, and the ink itself is toxic. They're not recyclable, and still people throw them in recycling bins anyway. So our mission really, apart from ridding the world of paper receipts, is to help merchants turn the end of every transaction into the start of a relationship. So our platform is about creating a seamless experience for consumers and merchants with no change in behaviour. So we're not asking a customer to change what they do. They don't have to download a new app. They don't have to do anything different. They don't have to ask for a slip or be introduced to a new brand. On the other side, merchants don't have to retrain their staff or slow down that checkout process where there's a 10-line deep queue waiting of people waiting to purchase their goods. Slip receipts, once we're enabled with the merchant, we do an implementation with the merchant. Once we're enabled on the other side with the issuing bank of the cardholder, those receipts are delivered automatically at the end of that transaction and seamlessly to that customer's experience. So this is a little bit about what the solution looks like. This is a fairly early prototype, and we're working with our bank partners right now to design the final product specific for each banking environment. But as I've sort of mentioned before, there is no additional app required from a consumer's perspective. It's delivered directly into their existing internet banking account, whether it's mobile or a desktop experience. And the receipt itself is everything you would expect a receipt to be. It has all of the taxable information so that it can be leveraged as a tax receipt. So merchant and store information, ABN, product info, and your pricing, of course. But given that it's a digital asset now, there's a number of enhancements that we can add, and leveraging information from and data from our merchant partners and rich catalogues, we can enhance that experience dramatically by providing things like descriptions of products, imagery, links back out to the merchant web experience to facilitate things like repurchasing, or even back to the manufacturer to download product manuals, etc. So we can surface up warranty information for that product as well, and customers can also set warranty reminders, return reminders, should they need those in the future. And for merchants, they can provide very rich and targeted offers based on the customer's demographic, their purchasing behaviour, etc. Customers can also provide feedback back to their merchants in a consistent manner across the industry, regardless of what the industry is. There's a wealth of capabilities we can add to the receipt, and this is our starting point to create, to enhance the experience for the majority of customers and merchants in the ecosystem. Whoop. So the everybody wins scenario where it's a data. In essence, it's a data exchange platform. So merchant is exchanging some of their rich product information with banks and customers. Banks are exchanging some of the demographic data of their customers with merchants, and consumers are making their lives easier with the richness that is enabled through a digital receipt. I won't cover that because we're running out of time, but the other part we're working on with some global partners is to create a standard that is transferable, not just with our own banking partners here in Australia, but globally, and enhancing those downstream kind of capabilities that are relevant to different industry types. So, right from your small cafe down the corner to your largest enterprise organisations.